right? But then I closed the door with again that da da da.
Gotcha.
Let me hear it. No,
Okay.
I love the hot in the shade thing behind you, by the way.
The reason I did that is because that was my first concert ever. And it got, I've always loved Kiss ever since I was a kid. My cousin brought over Kiss Alive. And I'd always imagined seeing Kiss live, and all of a sudden I got to go see Hot in the Shade. So that
Yeah,
you
that's
were on
not a bad
stage.
place to start, and obviously it's with me. So yay, thank
Yep.
you so much.
Yep.
To be honest, first of all, that was a great stage show. You know what they could take out on the road now, and anyone that has never seen them needs to see. The end of the road because just the production is just unbelievable. But for the era that I was in the band, really, I thought we had really state of the art kind of vibe.
Right.
And that we gave it a nickname, even though it was the Sphinx, and that was on the cover of the album. But we used to call it Leon, Leon
Leon
Sphinx, right?
Spinks, yeah.
But yeah, and then his mouth would open and lasers would come out, which was pretty radical back then, and just things like that. And his eyes would move, and crazy lights would come out of it. So, again, I was just there to do the best job I could on guitar, but I did love when we had production, of course. And the story behind Forever is actually a really good one. I should let you know. First of all, the album was self-produced, okay, only because the album before was Ron Nevison with Crazy Nights, and it did well, but it didn't do like unbelievable, like, okay, this is our formula. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we wound up moving into, okay, Gene and Paul are going to produce, bring in their songs. Generally, they like to work on their own songs. You know what I mean? But they'll have opinions. But if it's a Gene song, Gene's really in charge. Paul's song, vice versa. So Paul, I already was aware he got together with Michael Bolton, which was a connection through me because I worked with Bolton in a band called Blackjack back in the 70s. And then
really?
further on. Yeah. So Michael, and we're still good friends. And Michael was already a big star as Bolton, not Beloton, and he was writing hit songs for other people and himself. He already won a Grammy, and the next thing I know, he writes a song with Paul, and it was this one, Forever. All right, so everybody knows to tune it down to E flat.
I'll put it on the screen.
Drop the D, and it's just such a beautiful thing.
I like the way this feels.
Yeah.
It's got a big sound.
And then from there, you can go to the DADGAD tuning, you know what I mean? And then you're zeppelining out like a lot of fun. But this kind of tuning is always a lot of fun. Here we go. 3 octaves, right? High, right? Okay, that one's not in there, the D string. Okay, but I start off right away with a gong, da ba da ba da, right?
Are you picking all that, or are you like?
Yeah, I'm picking it. Up, down. That would be a down one.
Okay.
And I start repeating that because I want to do a walk down.
Oh.
Use the pinky because you want to set yourself up for the next one. So hang on. Now, it's funny, and I know you know this. You're great at teaching everyone how to do things. When the guy who wrote it has to slow down and stop, you know what I mean, and not go with the flow. It's kind of like,
I know.
Wait a minute, I got to do it at full tempo.
Definitely.
So let me just dissect it a second.
Sure.
So that's still the pinky, and then the minor scale walking down on the B string. Right. So that's all in that position, and nothing else yet is. And then I switch to.
Oh.
Right. Move down with a nice jump there.
Oops. Ooh, you jump.
Right. Now, let me give you a little tip. I always found anytime I tried to do, minor scales, obviously this is going to have the scale that's right for the song. There's. And then but I like octave, like big jumps, you know what I mean? Like da 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 da, you know what I mean? Because to me, when I'm trying to be melodic, but orchestral, shall I say? And
Yeah.
I love it. Guys going, it's
Octave
always great to do
displacement.
that. And I'll bring in the pedal note. I'll bring in the low string. I'll do harmonics. So that's where I had that. So let's get that
I
right.
love that. So
And then I'll walk you through the next one.
sure.
So we have
So
that position, right? So you're there with the 1 on the G note, right,
mm,
which is the 4, but I forget what chord we're on, Robert. Whatever. Now, guys who practice scales, da 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 da
yep.
da da. Well, guess what? That's really musical. Don't make it the complete scale in that
Sure.
moment, but a little bit of it is very melodic. And then
Ooh. That slide.
those are the things that people miss. The little da.
Yep.
I'm real. I love sliding down strings, striking once, and letting the finger. These are the things keyboards can't do. You know that. That's what makes the art of guitar. Okay,
Yeah.
is this fact that our instrument is so unique that just there's a big difference, or there's a huge difference in the two. No, and you don't want to. See what I mean? So it's
Pull off. Ooh.
slid down, right?
And then pulled off. Okay.
Where I'm only striking it once, and then right away, and
That
then I
part.
hit those harmonics right away, which come in pretty quick. So
Yeah.
reviewing again, we have the you know. Okay, so those are those beautiful. I mean, without Jimmy Page, I wouldn't know those. Okay, you got to give credit where it's due, right?
Yeah, right.
And then, and I probably gave it that. It sounds a little cheesier with the electric acoustic or real acoustic. That sounds like an explosion on the guitar of
I
beautiful drop
bet.
D. You know what I mean? But okay, so that's how I answered it. I want another downbeat like I started the song, except this one's more aggressive. I'm
Gotcha.
over exaggerating some of the things, but I just know that that's what I was going for, right?
That's
So
very
you have that,
flamenco. I like that.
right? Exactly. So, and I would have done probably downstrokes for those two harmonics. And I got to tell you guys, honestly, when I had to relearn that solo after years of not playing it, I was like, is it this one first, this one first,
Yeah.
this harmonic, that harmonic? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because harmonics are weird because sometimes the lower fretted one sounds higher than the higher fretted one.
Exactly.
So,
Like the 5 is higher
right.
than 7. So is it
Yeah.
5 7?
So I was always like, wait a minute, I think it's the high, so I had to spend some time with that. All right. So, and that's got to be a light touch.
And use your pinky.
Then it's going to end. Now here it gets a little tricky, but again, it's back to that where I was doing the minor scale over here.
Okay.
I mean, it's really D major, but it looks like an E minor.
Sure.
So hang on. So I go. So I start with it. I think this is the phrase that I find most people get troubled with, and I phrase it a little different from time to time, but it's that that people never get.
The slide.
Right. And where and again, this is why I love Frank Sinatra and Brian May and Eddie Van Halen and Dean Martin phrasing. Okay, and it has to be inspired. It can't be I'm gonna plan this. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It either grooves or it doesn't groove. It either sits there in the right place or it doesn't. Okay, so I may play that a little different, but I know what I'm going for, and I think. If I had two guitar players to kind of mimic, I'm thinking Hendrix, I'm thinking Jimmy Page. Okay, those two guys. Okay. So. So we'll get to that last.
That's
riff.
cool.
Now, without time, it's kind of hard to feel where all those things go.
That's
Let me
okay.
take this off. I'm banging
Sure.
the guitar. But those are the notes. So weights. And that's almost like an afterthought. Right? But then I close the door with. Again, that.
Gotcha.
Let me hear it. No.
Okay. You're using your pinky too.
Yes, lots of times I lead with a pinky. It's the same as the third finger, though. You don't
Sure.
have to follow me, you
I
know.
use my pinky a
Uh,
lot too. Oops.
yes,
Oh,
just a
you
little
just
more
hammer.
relaxed, and that's it.
Oops. Do you hammer
Yes.
at the end like that? Hammer
Um,
on?
yeah, I don't strike it again.
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's
right.
great, man.
So, yeah, I sometimes I might have picked it.
Okay.
Doesn't matter really, but that's the note, and the attention is more the hammer on, right? And then another from a minor like that.
I love that part
That's
because
the
it just
pick.
jumps out and bites you.
Yeah, yeah. I love going high at the end of a solo. It's always so like triumphant.
Right.
It's the big although it winds down too, which I like. Okay, so
The way it walks, yep. That's the walk down. Okay.
okay, walking down. Yeah, right. Wait a second.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right away jump to the dirt.
There's that
Yeah,
jump again.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, a jump, right. Now on the record, there were two parts there.
Yep.
But I've adapted. Obviously, I had well, how the hell do I do this live with the Sphinx behind me? And then when I perform, so I've never done it live with any harmony person.
The classic walk up.
That's it, right? And there's no other thing. The only other interesting part, actually, Paul played, and I think it was the Steinberger that.
Oh yeah.
That kind of thing.
Like a fill-in type
Yeah,
overdub
yes,
thing.
yes. I
That's
love
really
that.
pretty.
He had that on the demo, so I love that. That was a great line. I mean, in a way, you think about it, and I'm just realizing it now, that kind of influenced where I was during the solo. You think about it, because of the,
Yep.
you know what I mean? It's all in that kind of, and I really think great songs, when you find a melody or there's some licks in places, there should be a theme, or it's best when there is something that is just the beautiful icing on the cake, shall I say.
Sure. Kind of brings
You
it all
still got to
together.
bake the cake, and it better be a good tasting one. But the icing is always that's my job. Bring it up a level, make it nice and sweet, and bring it home. That everybody wants more.
So, last question, I guess, when you were growing
Yep.
up, was it always on playing on a record player in the background, or how did you get into Zeppelin and all these bands?
Yeah, in the beginning, I mean, I had this Lafayette stereo was the first. I mean, the first time I heard "Are You Experienced," which was just like
Wow.
mind-boggling to listen to. I cried. It was the first. It was just a cheap stereo, maybe 10 watts or something, but two speakers separate of each other. I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And ironically enough, that record was a big soundtrack for me, and of course for Paul Stanley and Kiss. So that was a big backwards guitars and
Oh,
the
yeah.
power of Hendrix.
It brings me back because you were talking about Hendrix, but the first
Yeah.
record I actually had of my own that I played on my little toy record player with two speakers was Destroyer by Kiss.
Well, there you go.
So it's so weird how it's just like how it's coming full circle for me in this interview.
Absolutely. And speaking of Destroyer, just this morning, I don't know when exactly they're releasing this, probably by the time this airs or whatever, but they're doing some unbelievable 45-year package of that. That's
Really?
unbelievable. I was telling my wife Lisa about it this morning, because it's got a lot of, posters and booklets and pictures that like crazy stuff and
Yeah.
unreleased this and that. It was wild. I'm so flattered that you invited me. I'm glad you picked Forever. This is wonderful. And, carry on. You do a great job at this, helping people on YouTube and all the other ways that you, share your knowledge. It's wonderful.
Well, thank you. I just can't believe it's come to this point to where I can reach out to guys like you and you actually respond and I can,
Yes.
pick the brain of a legend. It's just, I pinch myself every day, like I said. So you were talking about your channel. Do you want to plug what it is? I'll put it on the
I'd love
screen
to.
and everything. Go
and
ahead.
I need to do so much more, but I really grew it quite a bit during the pandemic. But it's my name, and my website's brucekulick.com. But Bruce Kulick is the channel. All right, well, I'm glad we did this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bruce, and we'll keep in touch. And I guess good luck with everything, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I hope to See you again. Thank you
Okay.
so much for the invitation. You take
Sounds good,
care.
man. See ya.
Okay. All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye bye.